Hey guys, I wanted to start a new video series based on some things that I've seen on the ladder, especially lately. Lots of people are playing Control Warrior, and I keep running into people that are making similar mistakes. They don't quite understand the value of certain cards or certain situations, and they make the same mistakes over and over and over again, which is good for me because it usually means that I win those matches. But I also get lots of viewers asking me questions about why I did a certain thing. And I think aside from the funny stuff I do in the out of control videos, I'm not the greatest Control Warrior player on earth, and I still make quite a few mistakes myself. But I have been playing Control Warrior for like nearly, I think, 7 months now, and I have played a lot of games, so I feel like I have some insight to give. So what this series is going to be is basically gameplay with me doing commentary after the fact, explaining my thought process a little bit more in depth than I normally would when I'm streaming. Sometimes when I'm streaming I try to explain something and then I get distracted, or maybe I just don't explain it very well. So if you like these videos, or if you like this video, let me know and I will make more in this series. If you guys don't like it, then I will just stick to doing the same thing I've been doing the whole time. But either way, let me know, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. A big taunt or something. So here we have the mirror matchup. In the mirror matchup, mulligan, as in most matchups, is pretty important.
Okay, this is a really good start.
Basically what you want to do is you
Reasonably good start, not a really good start.
Be able to remove their early minions cheaply without having to use removal. In this case, Armorsmith Cruel Taskmaster is a really great combination for that, because Armorsmith Cruel Taskmaster will remove an Acolyte on turn 3. Deathbite will remove an Armorsmith on turn 4. It will remove a Sledge Belcher on turn 5 if you ever use it on turn 4. So this hand is pretty strong. It could be a little bit stronger. Fiery War Axe would be better than Deathbite. But aside from that, it's a really strong hand. It's not worth going for like the, 1 in 28 chance of getting a Fiery War Axe instead of the Deathbite when you mulligan. But Deathbite is a really strong card. It's just a tiny bit slow, but as long as we have the other 2 minions here, we're going to be fine. If we were in a situation where we had like Deathbite, Ragnaros, Gramash, then you could potentially consider mulliganing Deathbite just to try to get a faster start, because you are going to be in a bad situation even with Deathbite in a lot of matchups. Not particularly so in Control Warrior, but if you're playing against Zoo, and the earliest drop you have in your hand is a Deathbite, you're probably going to lose that game. So you may want to mulligan more aggressively in that case. In this case, this hand is really good, so we're going to keep it. So we have the standard Control Warrior turn 1 without the coin. Just do nothing every single time, unless you happen to run Zombie Chow or something like that.
It should just do it automatically, but I'll check just a sec.
So our opponent plays Armorsmith, and we have no way of removing it right now, so our choices are basically armor up or play our own Armorsmith. Playing Armorsmith is risky because it means he could potentially play Fiery War Axe next turn, which is almost likely since he used the coin. It means he probably has a 2-drop. But he makes kind of a iffy choice and uses Execute, which is really bad, because Execute is basically infinite removal. You can remove a minion with a billion health if that minion has 1 damage on it. So using Execute on Armorsmith, which is not that much of a threat, is a pretty huge mistake. So I actually make a mistake here myself. I probably should have just removed the Acolyte of Pain instead of the Armorsmith. Basically, I didn't want him to start stacking armor if he had like Unstable Ghoul or something like that, but getting cards is much worse than getting a little bit of armor, so don't make the same mistake I did. If you have a choice, kill the Acolyte always. Unless there's some way he's potentially going to get a lot of armor, like 10 plus armor the next turn, kill the Acolyte. I choose to not use the weapon on his face and just kill the
Shield blocking is
Acolyte with the Whirlwind effect, because his next turn is turn 5. That's the Sludge Belcher turn, and one of the most efficient ways to remove Sludge Belcher is with the second charge of Death's Bite. So he doesn't have Sludge Belcher, or he's just decided not to play it because he doesn't want to play it into my weapon, which is fine. Things have changed a little bit. I can actually use the weapon to draw a card myself, and I can actually end up making it so I can draw 3 cards off this Acolyte, which is really, really strong. And even though it's not 100% mana efficient, it is obviously pretty crazy for the card draw. And because my hand is pretty weak at the moment, I have tons of removal, not a lot of playable minions, I choose to get as many cards as I can and just dig deeper into the deck. So obviously he can remove these guys pretty easily. But if he plays,
Can you guys hear me like swallowing when I'm eating yogurt?
He can't play Sylvanas here. Well, he could play Sylvanas, but there's not a lot of really strong plays for him that turn other than playing Cairn. So he chooses to remove my board and develop the Cruel Taskmaster of his own Cruel Taskmaster, and that's perfectly standard. Again, I do not have the only minion I have is Rag, so I really need to keep digging through my deck looking for minions. And I have 7 mana, so I can use that 7 mana really effectively by shield block, armor up, and weapon. I choose not to attack the 2/2 because I have cleave and double execute in my hand. So because control warriors typically only play 1 minion per turn, if he plays something scary or annoying like Sludge Belcher, more annoying, not scary, I can cleave and basically sacrifice 2 life or 2 armor for being able to remove the Sludge Belcher pretty efficiently. Obviously the 1/2 part stays on the board, but that's not much of a threat.
I have Faceless, which would suck, but I can completely remove it.
And unfortunately for me, he has probably the best way to deal with Cairn, which is Silence plus Deathbite plus attack it with a 1 attack minion. So that kind of sucked, but Spellbreaker, honestly, if I'm going to play Silence, I prefer to play Owls, because the Spellbreaker's body is not strong enough, in my opinion, to justify the extra cost. It's removed far too easily by weapons, by cheap spells, by cheap minions. So I would much rather play Owl and just be able to have an extra 2 mana on the turn that I silence. I chose to play Acolyte here because my hand is still not amazing. I need less situational minions. Obviously I don't want to play Sylvanas on an empty board. And I expect him to clear the Acolyte, and I end up getting 1 card of it, which is not great, but it's still better than playing Sylvanas on a board where he's going to kill Sylvanas instantly, and it's better than playing nothing, in my opinion. So here I have like the very strong play of being able to just completely steal his Cairn to make up for the one that he silenced and killed a couple turns back. And that turns Sylvanas from having very little value on that kind of board to being insanely strong, because Cairn is really hard to deal with. And most warriors only run 1 silence. So he can remove the first part of Cairn with the weapon, but that means he's going to draw me a card. Instead, he chooses to do something else, which actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. He shield slams the Acolyte,
What?
which basically
No, you should not have done that.
is playing shield slam to give me one less card. Doesn't really make sense.
That's pretty tough.
He potentially could have just removed it the next turn anyway with the Fiery War Axe.
He's used all of his removal.
And then he shield slams when it's not a guaranteed kill
Protect.
the following turn, because I can obviously play something like Sludge Belcher.
I think I do.
So pretty easy turn. I want to develop Deathbite, so I just go for the 3 damage on his face.
I could have
So
back there, but
now he's in the awkward situation of having used Shield Slam on a minion that's still alive and that he can't currently kill.
Obviously he can cleave.
Black Knight is a pretty good answer for Sludge Belcher, but he still has the problem of there being this Bane on the board that he already used a Shield Slam on. So now we can basically just start pushing for as much damage as we can. Honestly, don't really care if the rag hits face or the minion, because unless he plays taunt or shield block, even if rag hits the minion, I still have 14 damage next turn and he dies. He would basically have to remove Bane plus play at least one minion to suck up the rag hit, or remove Bane plus rag.
Just, like, with, you shouldn't use execute on an armor smith like ever. I can't think of a situation where it's really that correct to do it.
In addition to armoring up. So pretty standard finisher for the mirror match. Usually one player gets Grom in the face for the kill, or both players fatigue and the guy who has the most health wins.
He put himself in a really bad position by using shield slams, so it's better for you to have a shield slam and your opponent to have like one extra card.
So guys, I know that was pretty rambly and I'm not always the greatest at explaining things, but if you have any input to give, please let me know. Like, favorite, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will see you next time. Thank you.